Have you ever wondered whether a small Germany 10 Pfennig coin from 1979 could be worth more than its original face value today? In this video, we are taking a close look at the Germany 10 Pfennig 1979 F, a historic coin from the Federal Republic of Germany that can still attract the attention of collectors, especially when it is found in very fine condition. The letter F is an important detail because it identifies the Stuttgart Mint, one of Germany's traditional mints. This particular 1979 F issue was produced in large numbers, with about 120 million regular circulation pieces recorded, so it should not automatically be considered an extremely rare coin. However, condition, mint mark, surface quality, and overall eye appeal can make a noticeable difference to its collector value. The coin belongs to the familiar West German 10 Pfennig series, a denomination that was used in everyday commerce for many years before Germany eventually adopted the euro. On the obverse, you can see the denomination 10 Pfennig, surrounded by the characteristic oak leaf design, while the reverse features the German eagle and the inscription Bundesrepublik Deutschland, together with the date 1979. The design is simple but historically important because these coins circulated during an important period of modern German history. When examining a 1979 F 10 Pfennig, collectors should first check the date and the F mint mark carefully, because different mint marks represent different German. The next thing to examine is condition. A heavily circulated example may show scratches, dull surfaces, worn lettering, and loss of detail, while a very fine example should retain much clearer design elements and stronger details. Very fine condition is certainly collectible, but it is important to understand that a very fine grade does not automatically make this coin worth several dollars. Current catalog-based values for the 1979 F regular issue are generally modest, with published estimates around the low cent range up to roughly $0.50 depending on grade and market conditions, while exceptional examples can be worth more. Numista currently lists the regular 1979 F issue with values reaching about $79 in higher circulated grades, while its separate proof entry is a different collectible and should not be confused with an ordinary circulation coin. This distinction is extremely important because online videos sometimes show unusually high prices, proof, an error, an exceptional grade, or simply a normal circulated example. For a normal 1979 F10 Pfennig in very fine condition, a realistic market expectation is generally around a few cents to perhaps a few tens of cents, depending on the exact grade, buyer demand, and where the coin is sold. A particularly attractive example with strong details, clean surfaces, and minimal distracting marks may bring a better price than an average circulated piece. Professional certification can also affect value when a coin is genuinely high grade, but certification costs may not make financial sense for an ordinary example because the underlying market value is relatively low. Another fascinating point is that the 1979 F issue is not rare simply because it is more than 40 years old. Age alone does not determine rarity. Millions of coins can survive from an old date, and this is why collectors look at mintage, survival estimates, condition, varieties, errors, and actual market demand. The 1979 F10 Pfennig had a substantial mintage, so finding one is not especially difficult compared with genuinely scarce German coins. Nevertheless, collectors often enjoy building complete date and mint mark sets, and this makes ordinary examples interesting even when their monetary value is modest. If your coin has an unusual error, such as a significant striking problem, off-center strike, major die variety, or another authenticated minting anomaly, the situation can be different, because genuine errors can command premiums depending on how dramatic and desirable they are. But be careful with claims about damaged or altered coins. Scratches, dents, discoloration, cleaning marks, or damage that happened after the coin left the mint are normally not valuable mint errors. For this reason, it is always better to compare your coin with reliable references and, when necessary, seek an experienced numismatist's opinion before assuming that an unusual-looking piece is rare. The 10 Pfennig denomination itself has an interesting place in German monetary history. Before the euro, the Deutsche Mark was the currency of West Germany, and the Pfennig represented the smaller subdivision of that currency. 10 Pfennig was equal to 1/10 of a Deutsche Mark, making these coins practical pieces of everyday pocket money. Today, the Deutsche Mark is no longer Germany's official currency, but its coins remain popular among collectors because they preserve a physical connection to the country's pre-euro monetary history. The 1979 F issue therefore has both historical and collecting interest even though its normal market value is relatively small. If you have one at home, look closely at the surfaces under good lighting, but avoid cleaning it aggressively. Cleaning can leave scratches or unnatural surfaces and may reduce collector appeal. Keep the coin in a safe, dry holder and handle it by the edges rather than repeatedly touching the faces. Remember that catalog prices are not guaranteed selling prices. The actual amount a collector may pay can vary depending on grade, eye appeal, demand, selling platform, photographs, fees, and whether the coin is part of a larger collection. So, what is the Germany 10 Pfennig 19 worth today in very fine condition? For an ordinary circulation example, the answer is usually a modest amount rather than a huge fortune. A reasonable educational estimate is around $70 to $85 for a typical very fine example, with better preserved pieces potentially reaching higher levels, while the highest published values for the regular issue can approach roughly $90 in stronger grades. Proof examples are a separate category and can have different values. Therefore, if you have a 1979 F10 Pfennig, do not throw it away simply because it is common, but also do not assume that every old German coin is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Its real attraction is the combination of history, design, mint identification, and the possibility of finding a particularly well-preserved example. The F mint mark from Stuttgart makes it an interesting addition to a German date and mint collection, and its 1979 date places it firmly within the classic West German Deutsche Mark era. Before selling, compare the exact date mint mark